Hello you guys, this is Trini, and today I just want to bring you a short video about the key commitment we have to make when we're using human design in our lives. So whether you're using it personally in your own life to figure out your chart and live your design, or if you're using human design as a profession, I really believe this key commitment is kind of like the foundation of human design. This is actually part of Generator Masterclass I'm creating, and as I was going through the slides before hitting that record button, I just thought this was a part that I wanted to share freely with everyone because I believe it's so important. So actually, the biggest thing about human design for me is not about all of the things that the chart can offer us. It's not even about strategy and authority, believe it or not, because I know we say strategy and authority are so important, and they are. But for me, the key commitment in human design is actually to be willing to make this change right here. To be able to realize that human design, what it's really asking us to do is to move from mind to inner awareness and individuality. So what does this mean? It means that we've been putting our emphasis as humankind, as a human collective, on the mind for a long time. It means there was a time where the mind served us as a focus, as a way to figure out how the world works and to figure out survival, how to figure out how to go from a species of, animals, of beings that were mostly concerned with survival, to getting to this point where that's definitely not the case anymore. The transition happened where that's not the case anymore, but the transition from mind to another intelligence hasn't yet happened in most humans. And that's what I believe human design is mostly here to teach us, is that we need to stop relying on this analytical part of ourselves, on the mind, on the part that houses our thoughts, but also houses our fears, that houses our traumas, that is just one section of our being that has very specific applications to what it can be used for in our lives in a positive way, in an expansive way. Like, for example, what I'm doing with you guys right now is transmitting knowledge. I'm using my mind to do that, and you're using your mind to understand the knowledge, right? But I think one of the biggest things is realizing that our mind is no longer serving us to make the correct decisions for our lives. We've been trying it for so long. That's something I always mention to clients, right? Is one thing you can know if you are looking for answers right now, if you're searching for your life purpose, if you're looking to make changes so that your life feels more meaningful, maybe feels easier, maybe more in flow is what you're looking for, then you know that the strategy that you've been taught of using your mind to make decisions hasn't really been working until now. And so what human design is, as an experiment, it's asking you to try something different. So to move from mind, to move from making these decisions that feel rational, that feel like you've worked them out, that feel like you're using all the tools that maybe you've been taught to use, that feels like you're making smart decisions, right? Like the decisions that are going to take you to the success that you've been taught is successful. It's kind of asking you to forget all that and to move into a place deep within your being where you can, number one, first of all, connect to that beingness and connect to the fact that you're more than just 3D flesh and bone human, but to acknowledge that you're a spiritual being living an earthly experience. And what that does is it adds a whole lot of dimensions to your being. It makes you a multi-dimensional being, and it allows you to reach for parts of yourself that are more intricate and that are deeper than just the mind. And it allows you to connect to parts of yourself that know more, that can present you or can give you information in different ways that you've ever experienced before, but that as you establish these type of connections with yourself, you become good at listening to yourself. And that's why the beauty, I think, of human design is that what it really does is connects you to your own inner being. Nobody else can have that connection. Nobody else can say, I know what is correct for you, because in the end, what you're doing when you are deciding to leave the mind apart and listening to those other parts of yourself that have more correct information is you are working on that relationship between you and yourself. And you can say maybe you and your higher self so we can understand it better. And you are the only person that can work on that connection between you and your higher self. So that's what we're doing with human design. That's the foundation with human design, is realizing the mind is no longer serving us as an agent of our life, as an authority of our lives. And that I think a key piece also is realizing that it's going to be a process, that, we've been programmed to use our mind and to always rationalize things through the mind, not only in our own lifetime. What you're doing when you are breaking those patterns of the mind and moving into inner awareness and individuality is you are aiding and being a part of the evolution of consciousness of our species. You are breaking patterns and bonds and limiting energy fields that are stuck in our DNA and our body that have been going on for generations and generations and generations. And you're being part of the wave of humanity that is realizing that things can be done differently and that we can be in peace and we can be sovereign beings by listening to different parts of our being that are not the mind. So that for me is the foundation of human design, is to realize that we need to leave the mind to its own tasks, to the tasks that, we want to consciously give the mind, but not let it rule us. And then move into inner awareness, which would mean, following, that's where strategy and authority comes in, right? But really just connecting to yourself, and individuality. So this last part is also a very important part, where we realize that we've also been programmed to believe that we are of value when we fit into a norm, or when we fit into a group, or when we are the same as others, or when we can be in a category and then excel in that same category. And moving towards individuality means that success is only a measure that can be measured by your own self and your own connection to self and how you feel. Success is about how you feel. That's why human design has different words, like for generators we have satisfaction, and projectors we have success, right? But that's like a guidance of how it might feel for you as an energy type, to really feel like you are putting your energy out there in a way that is very beneficial, or in a way that is efficient for you. But really, individuality is about realizing that your success is individual to you, and that honestly, I think that the more that you feel different from other people, the way that you see the differences in your life of how you're doing things, the more that you're on your path, because the more that you are following your own individual clues and not attaching to outside norms. So that for me is the basis of human design, this movement from mind to inner awareness and individuality. So to end the video, I'd like to share with you guys this commitment that I'm going to include in this generator course. So if you are a generator, stay tuned, because this is coming up, which it's just a course or a masterclass, I think, where I'm sharing with you how as a generator we can really move into this individuality and this inner awareness. And so the commitment is this: I am committed to letting my body take the lead, as I recognize that while my mind is a beautiful tool, it is not equipped to make the correct decisions for my life. And I would put this on my wall, like so big, because this is the gist of it, you guys. At least for me, this is the gist of it. So I hope this is as helpful to you as it's been for me in my own life.